guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to do a Come Garden With Me tour. We're on the west side garden. This is my brand new garden this year, so we're going to prune all these annuals up and some of the perennials in this side garden and some of the shrubs as well. And I'm going to bring you along with me to show you exactly how that I'm going to do this. There's no exact science that I'm going to do. I'm just going to jump in and get started and just do whatever to my liking. So if you like this look and you want it more full and overgrown a little bit more, then that is absolutely fine. Everybody has their own way of gardening. And then we're going to go on the skinny side garden and prune some of those annuals up as well. So come on and garden with me. All right, so from Amazon, I bought me a brand new pop-up bag. And this one is from Sleek Garden. I'm going to give it a try and I'll let you know how I like it. It's a Pro Garden leaf bag. I think this one is a 30-gallon bag. So I did buy this on Amazon and I'll have that link in the description. So after today, I'll have a good idea of if I like it or not. My other one was absolutely spent. I had to get rid of it. I had wires hanging out of it and it's gonna poke my eye out. So it says here that they're a small family business and your order means the world to us, is what they say. And they said, thank you. Isn't that sweet? So I like these because they're collapsible. And this one actually has like a little hook. The other one you had to like kind of put, you had to like slide it in. So, but this one just kind of hooks right into there. You see it like that? This is not as big as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit bigger. Anyways. So I guess if you're putting leaves in it, you can use this as well to help the leaves. And if it's windy, the leaves won't fly back out of it. But I'm just going to undo that and put it on the side here. So the reason why I bought this one, because it's got a hard bottom, and then if you put anything wet in there, it'll drain out as well, so it won't get mildewy. So it just slides real easy on the grass. And then it's got some handles too. Somewhere. Where's the handle? Right here that you can just drag and pull. So Mama's got her new bag. So we're just going to start on this side garden right here, and any kind of weeds I'm going to go ahead and pull. So I have some Bermuda grass growing up into this right here. I could come and spray grass out right here. If I had a lot, I would probably use the grass out, but I just have to absolutely stay away from any of my annuals and perennials. And these hydrangeas that are above me, this limelight standard hydrangea tree, they are actually perfect condition if you want to go ahead and start drying them. So you can see these gorgeous blooms right here. So you're able to go ahead and actually cut these off. So I'm going to make them pretty long so I can save them. So I'm going to cut about this much off and then go ahead and remove all these leaves here. So this is what my bloom looks like. I just went ahead and removed all these stems right here. I don't even actually have, this is dry enough, I don't even actually have to put it in any kind of water like you seen me do before. Before, I put it in a container of water about that much and just let it soak up and just like left it. But anyways, you can see that the leaves are starting to turn brown right here. You want to probably try it if you want to save this as a dry bloom. Before you get these leaves starting to turn brown here, go ahead and remove the bloom off the plant. But if you're going to go ahead and just spray these with any kind of protectant, like if you're going to spray them like gold or blue for anything that you're going to use like for Christmas, which is what I have in mind to do, is I would like to go ahead and make them like either gold or blue and use this in my blue Christmas tree. I also used it in my garland that I had outside last year, but I just kept it natural. But it would have been really pretty if I'd sprayed it gold or red or something like that. But anyways, you can see how big this bloom is right here. Big. So these Gomphrena aren't looking the best. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pull them up. So I just pulled out those Gomphrena because they weren't looking so great. These proven winter petunias here, I'm gonna go ahead and just prune them back so they'll flush out a little bit more. After I prune them back, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little bit of the water-soluble fertilizer. By pruning them back, they won't be so leggy and they'll flush out more here on top. So next we have this lantana kind of growing into this coneflower, which I did not really want. So we're gonna just come and prune this back right here. And then these coneflowers right here, they're already spent. We're gonna remove those as well. So I'm gonna come back as far as I can to go ahead and remove that spent bloom. I have some new blooms coming out on this plant as well. I'm going all the way back as far as I can see to the ground to remove this spent bloom. And removing these blooms will encourage new flowers to come out. We still, like I said, have lots of growing season. But this is the double beret raspberry. I'll throw the official name up for you on the screen. Yeah. Sometimes the birds really like these. The finches really like it, but I feed my birds really well and they really haven't been bothering these. The butterflies really do love these coneflowers as well. And I just love how big the bloom are. And I love that it's the double bloom. Just love, love this. This is one of my favorite perennials. And this is a new one from Proven Winners. So you can see right here, this lantana is on this one as well. So I'm just gonna come back and prune some of that back. See how it got this off this, this is the butter pecan. This is a new one. This one is the raspberry and this is the butter pecan. So the same thing, these blooms have been here for a while. So I'm gonna come back and just cut some of these off. I have some real pretty blooms still on this one stalk, so I don't think I'm gonna prune it all the way back yet. I'm just taking it back to where the other ones, just the ones that are spent. Now this one right here is all spent, so you can see, so I could cut it back further. You can see that I am using my Felco 2 pruners. These fit my hand really good. That link will be in my description. I love these pruners. If you have not invested some yet, make sure you do. Now this is the Serendipity right here. You can see that this one's still in bloom right here, but this one is not. So we're just gonna come back and remove these blooms. So for some of you, these might just starting to be blooming. I think I'm probably about a month and a half to 2 months ahead of you. Some of you that are in zone 6, like in maybe Michigan. But mine have already started to go out of bloom. See how pretty the foliage is right here. And these are still in bloom. You can see this one's pretty droopy. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one right here. And when I prune these back, I'm only gonna prune these by 1/3, no more than that. So I probably just took off about 1/3. Not gonna take any more off than that. And the reason why that I'm not gonna take any more off than that is because you want these stems to get to be really, really sturdy. So this one's been in the ground for 4 years. In the first couple of years, it did droop. So don't freak out and don't worry. just whenever you go to prune, like real early in the spring or late winter, just prune your hydrangeas back by 1/3, and then year after year they'll get sturdier and sturdier. Now I want to remind you, the only reason why I'm pruning these back right now, you could totally leave these on all winter long, but they are going to eventually turn brown. So I have longer season than most of you guys, so most of you maybe just your hydrangeas are still like absolutely gorgeous, but these are already starting to dry. So once they start to dry, they're just going to continue to get brown. Now I want to be able to save these for some Christmas decorations that I want to use, so I don't want them brown. So that's why I'm going ahead and cutting them off now and drying them and save them for Christmas time for another project. Now I'm not going to cut every one of these off. I'll probably still will leave some of them on. And I do really like the look of even some of the brown blooms because it does give you some winter interest. And I'll throw a picture of my limelight hydrangeas on the other side in the winter time that were still absolutely pretty, especially if you have snow and it starts to snow on these brown blooms. It is just really pretty. So the next thing that I'm going to battle in this side garden is this David Austin rose. This is a rambler rose and it's called the Mill on the Floss. And I have some really long canes, as you can see. So I think I'm going to save some of these long canes and tie them up against the trellis. And I'm going to tie them up with this gear tie right here. These are reusable. And I bought these at Ace Hardware, and I'll try to find the link on Amazon because I think I'm going to really like these. But anyways, I have several. There is 10 in each package. So we're gonna cut these spent blooms off right here and tie it back to the trellis. And yeah, let's try to tackle it together. All right, so I hope you can see the sun is so bright right now, so it's hard for me to see exactly where. But I just turned the camera around and this is the rows that I tackled. You could see that the really long canes I pruned all the way back. Some of the big canes I had to get a zip tie and tie up against that trellis over there. I still have some really tall canes up there, but they don't have any spent blooms on it, so hopefully some new blooms. And I've got a mess to clean up. You can see all these big long canes right here on the ground. This is the mess that I ended up having. It took me a little while to get this one pruned back. But anyways, I don't really want it to be overgrown by any means. I kind of like to keep it more trained onto this trellis. With those really long canes, I just had to cut some of them back, as you can see, like those right there. I just try to keep them cut back a little bit more manageable, and hopefully I can have some blooms right there. So that is the Mill on the Floss, and I had a couple of really nice blooms last time I showed you in my garden tour, but right now they're out of bloom and I have lots of new growth coming on them. So lots of new buds to come. I'm super excited for it to get cooler in the winter time or in the fall, because then that's when I have my most gorgeous blooms, early in the spring and late in the fall. But that's what that mess looks like. And then you can see that I took some of the blooms off the hydrangea tree and I have them just laying right there so I could get the leaves off of them and put them in a cool room so I can use those for Christmas. Okay, the next thing we're going to tackle these potato vines. I have, I think, 10 of these in this side garden here, and they actually love the space almost too much. So they're hiding my super bubblegum petunias, they're hiding my lantana, yellow lantana, like completely hiding it. So I don't know, I'm just going to start just cutting, I guess. guess you can see, like, look how much all this growth has. Like I said, it was super happy there, but pruning a lot of this back, and I'm going to do every potato vine the exact same way. So I'm going to go ahead and get all those done, and then as soon as I go to something else, I'll show you and we'll tackle that together as well. So right here I'm trying to cut this potato vine back. It was going up that way, this way. This upside key lime pie right here growing up my obelisk, I have 2 of them up there. I probably only need 1 next year, and they're growing on my Munstead woods right here, so I need to get those off that. But they're climbers, so they're just like winding around everything, just making it really hard. So I guess next year I need to make sure I like prune that at least once a week, so it's not getting wind up on everything like it's wind up on the roses right now. And then this plain the blue salvia, like, I hate to cut it, like the bees are all over it, as you can see. They just love those blooms right now. I don't know, I feel like I just have a hot mess. I really wanted these petunias, super petunias, to like grow down here and be the show. So next year I need to make sure that I don't put any potato vines here, and then at the very bottom have all of a whole big drift of the super petunia bubblegum vista petunias. That's what I want next year. But you know, you live and learn, like I do. Like I don't know how this was going to turn out. I do now. Smells good. So you can see I got this all off these roses right here. Now I'm just going to take these spent blooms back. And it's all over this Russian sage. Let me get all of it off. Let's see. So I'm just grabbing a handful here, cutting it, pulling it. Russian sage doesn't like a lot of water, but I don't know if this is just because it didn't get any sun. This one looks really sad. That one looks like it's doing good. I'm sure because it got more sun. So I don't know if I might run. I really think it's okay with drip because I have drip all up and it's going to run downhill. So I don't think it needs more water. I just think it needed more sun. And I think next year, this is the first time I planted this, I think next year it's going to be really pretty. Now I don't have a lot of good luck with, this is Baby Jean. I don't really have good luck with denim and lace, which, you know, Laura with Garden Answer got me turned on to that, and I really loved that plant, but it's probably one of the worst perennials that I have in my garden. Yep. This has a lot of dead leaves around it, so I'm just taking all these dead leaves off here and just piling them up, and I'll dispose of that too. All right, that is day one. It is hot today. It is mid-August, towards the end of August. Actually, I think it's August 26th. I probably won't get this video out till next week. But anyways, I got a good amount done today, and I just can't get it all done. I'm just really hot, so I'm gonna stop for today, and then I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you guys what I accomplished on day one. And then tomorrow is Sunday, and I'll be back out here tomorrow, and hopefully I can finish up tomorrow and get this video edited and out to you. Okay, so that is the upside down key lime potato vine that's growing up that obelisk. And I have 2 on there, which honestly, I probably only need 1. So it was growing up this baby Jean Russian sage right here where it could not get any sun. So you can see this one got sun, and the one behind it got sun as well. And this one I uncovered from the potato vine, and this one was completely covered, and you can tell that it looks dead, but it's not dead. Hopefully, since it gets sun, it will get some new growth. And then you can see the one behind there with all the bees on it. Can you see all the bees on that Russian sage? And then what else do I have back here? I have a couple of shrubs. We'll go over everything after I'm finished. But anyways, just wanted to show you that. And then the Munstead wood right here, I got it all uncovered and got the spent blooms off that. So I have 2 of those, and I have 2 more coming bare root next 2024 because it's already past the bare root time, and they did honor the warranty for the 2 other roses. So when I get 2 more, my plan was 1 here, 1 here, 1 over there, and then 1 in the back. And then I had this obelisk in the middle, which I intended to get a clematis growing up that. But this year, this was a perfect option, and a lot of people have loved that. So if you have something that needs to grow really tall and really well, that vine is for you. They also have that in the black vine as well. And then as far as potato vine, I cut a lot of it out. This is 1, 2. This one was all over the place. And I can't believe how much this playing the blue salvia has grown. That blows my mind as well. But all of the potato vine, all of the bubblegum petunias that I wanted to really shine, they just got covered. And like, look, I had to cut this potato vine. Why do I see potato vine? I had to cut this bubblegum petunia all the way back. But now it can get some sun, so hopefully it'll get some new growth. It's gonna look really sad in here for about 2 weeks. And then we'll come back and we'll show you everything that has rebloomed. And I'll probably have to cut these potato vines back even more. And then I got all the spent blooms off the coneflowers. We already went over that. So tomorrow, what do we need to do? We need to deadhead these Buddleia Punkster blue butterfly bushes, and I have 5 of those in there. And then possibly prune back some of the lime-time coleus, so it'll flush out wider instead of taller. And then this butterfly bush needs to be unearthed, so we'll prune that, playing the blue salvia back off that one. Look at all the bees on there. Get a little closer to all these bees. So yes, we'll prune some of that lime-time coleus back. And then I pruned it kind of hard back in here. There is one of my bubble gums that I pruned back pretty well. And then we'll get all the spent blooms off the lilac crush hardy hibiscus tomorrow. And what else? Need to still prune back these coneflowers from Proven Winners. And actually, this lantana looks pretty good. It's pretty much staying in more of a smaller mound, which I like. And I know the yellow lantana, there's a new improved yellow. I need to find that next year and not get the luscious lantana. If you got a wild space, that's perfect though. And then you can see the bubblegum petunias here are doing really good. That was my envision. My envision was to see this all the way down. But you can see it's not. Still beautiful, not complaining, but that's what I wanted. So next year I'll put them down lower in a hoe hedge, and I'm going to keep an eye on them next year more. So yeah, there's still some that I need to prune back. Like this one, I need to get in there and give it some more sun. And then the rose bush, I already showed you that after we pruned it back and got some of it zip tied and tied back. Pruned it back pretty hard. And then I need to get all of these blooms picked up today and put into my spare bedroom so I can use those later on in the season. So that's what day one out here looks like. And then tomorrow we'll do another morning when I'm out here more in the shade in the morning time. And then hopefully we'll finish and then do a follow-up. Hi guys, it's day 2. Right now it's really early in the morning. It's kind of cloudy. It rained a lot last night, so these plants have a lot of water on them. As you can see, he's shaking them off here. So quite wet. The bees are still loving this plain the blue salvia. Like, it's so hard to believe that this plain the blue salvia came in like a little grande quart that was like this big. Look how massive it is. So was this coleus. So these are all annuals. This plain the blue salvia, this lime coleus, and then another plain the blue salvia. You can see these bees don't care whatsoever that I'm right here. They just are like loving life and can care less that I'm here. But I'm going to go back and we're going to cut this coleus. And I don't know about the salvia. We'll see. The bees are really loving it. It's still in full bloom. So I hate to cut some of that back, but it is overgrowing and like impeaching on some of my other perennials here. So yeah, like, just can't believe how much this garden has grown in 1 year. So I'm going to bring you up close and show how I'm going to prune back this coleus. And I'm trying to unearth all of my bubblegum petunias because they will come back for me. So I'm not going to, if I prune them back, I'm not going to like pull them up the roots out of the ground because they are a great perennial. And for me here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8, they will come back. And yeah, like, I'll get 2 or 3 years out of them, definitely. So I definitely want to do that. And my envision, and I said this probably multiple times on this video, was to see like a whole sea of pink petunia bubblegums going down here. So I didn't have any idea that this potato vine, which I knew was, I don't know why I didn't even think that. I knew that this potato vine grows like crazy. But anyways, so I won't do that next year. I'll do more of a potato vine that doesn't get as aggressive next year. So when you look at your coleus, you want to take it back to where it branches off. So you can see where it branches here. And then we can go down a little bit further and see where it branches right here. You see it's got a branch here and a branch there. We can cut it right here. So if I was going to cut this coleus back, I would go right here. If I was going to prune it back just a little bit, I would do the first branch. So I got 2 branches that I'm cutting back. So you can see where I cut back. There's a branching there, and there's a branching up here. So that's where you would cut it back, if that makes any sense. So let me go to where I just cut it off. So you see here, this is where I cut, and it's got a branch here and a branch here. So this is where it will make new growth, right here. It's kind of all fallen over. So if I was just going to cut off a bloom, which is the bloom right here, I would just go to the first set of branching, which would be right here. This would be where I would just cut off my bloom. So if I'll cut that, that would just leave me with this piece right here. So let's come down here. I think this coleus right here might be a little easier to see. You can see I have a bloom here. So if I was just going to cut off just the bloom stalk, I would cut down to right here. So if I wanted to just cut the bloom only, I would cut right there. And then I would have new branching here and here. Now if I wanted to cut it back a little bit more, I would just go down a little bit more. So I could cut it right here because I have two branching right here, so I could cut there, or I could even go down a little bit more to the other set of branching, which is right here. So that's where I would prune, just to give you an idea of how to prune this coleus back. And you cannot make a mistake, because if you prune just a little, you can always take more, and we still have a long growing season, so it is still going to continue to grow. But this coleus was one small plant. Isn't that crazy? All right, so I know that it looks like I pruned it back way too much, and I may have, but I'm hoping that in about a month that I'm going to prove you wrong, that I'll have new growth on all of this, and it'll look good till the very end of the season. But that was my bubblegum super petunia, and you can see that I cut it all the way back. You can see the main limbs right here are still green, so I'll be fine with that. And in about a month, that will be full of new growth. So we'll come back in a month and show you the big difference. But instead of having all this overgrown, looking kind of crazy, and then covering all my other perennials, it will flush back out, give me some new blooms, and will be gorgeous. So this is the plain the blue salvia that I just cut all the way back. It looked like that before. So we're gonna cut that one back. We cut that salvia, not the salvia, the coleus all the way back, and it will flush out again. And then this one as well. And then the super petunia bubblegum. So yeah, I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy. Like I said, we still have a good amount of growing season, and it's overgrown, and I don't really like this look. You might like the look, but I don't. So that's the thing, that we can do whatever we want in our own garden, right? But I'm just showing you that you can prune these perennials back pretty hard, and then they'll come back out and flush out. But now you can see my other things that I have in the garden too. So before, you could never even see that hydrangea right there, the tough stuff hydrangea. You couldn't really see the yin and yang viburnum up there. So by cutting some of this stuff back and letting it flush out like fresh, I think this garden really needs it. So we'll come back and revisit this in a month, but I'm gonna get to pruning, and then when I get to something new, then I'll come back and let you guys know about it. You can see that's the bubblegum. I put them up too high. Next year, I've got to bring them down here. That was a lesson learned for me, big time. That way I can keep an eye on them more, and they couldn't get overgrown. But anyways, they grew quite big, because you could see how much I pruned off. This is the one I pruned all the way back, and this one right here is the one that I've got to prune. So let me get my hands on it here. You could see all this growth and how ugly it looks right now. The only thing that's pretty is these top blooms. But anyways, if we prune it all the way back, I hope, I can't promise, that we're going to get some absolute new growth, and it's going to be beautiful. But you can see where this puncture blue, look at all of its mildewy and whatever, because it didn't have room to grow because of the coleus. So next year I think I'll do things quite a bit different. But so we're going to get this pruned back, and then these buddleia bushes, the puncture blue buddleia bushes, need to be deadheaded. And like I said, when you deadhead, you promote new blooms. So that's all we're going to do is, here's a bloom right here. We're just going to take it back to right here and prune that back. And this is what you end up with. And then you can see like this is already starting to branch off right here to get a new bloom. So like right here, like I could just prune it here, but I'll probably take it all the way back to here because I already have new growth right there. So we're just gonna cut it right there because we have new growth right here. So I've got 5 of those to do, so we'll get all of those done. And I really wasn't planning on taking it back severe as this, but it needed it. So like I think it's gonna be gorgeous in about a month. So maybe we just won't look at it for a month and we'll come back and I'll show you like how much prettier everything's gonna be all pruned back and tidy. So I still have some cleaning up to do, but look how, I gotta show you how pretty this Munstead wood rose is right here. It's too pretty not to share. But just to let you know, this upside down key lime, we got that all cut back, and now all of my Russian sage has sun, as you can see. And then this has a little bit more sun. I cut that lianthus back a little bit. That's one coleus right there that was impinging on here, so we got that cut back. This potato vine's really not hurting anything. The lantana cut back a little bit. So with this potato vine, you can see that is my bubblegum. You can see how pretty the Tough Stuff hydrangea is. Let me show you, since I have a gorgeous bloom. Look how dainty and gorgeous that is. Now that we got everything pruned back in this west side garden, then we're gonna fertilize. I told you that it really doesn't matter. I love Espoma products. If you only have one product, use Plant Tone. I'm gonna put Plant Tone on almost everything, all my annuals that I have in this west side garden. And then I bought my rose tongue for my roses. I do have a few roses over here that were David Austin Munstead roses, so I'm gonna put this rose tone on that, and then I may even put some of this rose tone on my hardy hibiscus, since that does flower really well. And you may look like I've got like a store here, but anyways, I wanted to share all the products that I do use in my garden, and I do use the Espoma products. Plant Tone, if that's the only thing that you can find. I was able to find all of these at Pike's Nursery, and of course I have all those links on Amazon. If you just want it to come right to your door, then that is so convenient, and the cost is not that much difference, and then you're not spending gas to go get that product either. And then what else do I have? So I've noticed on my potato vines, and I'll show you closer up, that something's eating on them. So either I'm going to put the Captain's Jack dead bug on there, which is organic as well, or I'm going to put the BT. Now if you notice that it's just caterpillars, then just use the BT, because this will only kill caterpillars only. So I'm not really picky about which brand that I buy. This is by Bionide, this one right here, and then I'll also in my spray bottle have the Monterey BT. They're both about the same. The only thing I don't like about it is that they're green, and it does kind of leave a tint on your flowers. It's the only thing I don't like about it, but it's either that or you can have caterpillars eat your flowers. You choose. I'm going to have a tint on my flowers. So anyways, I do not have the Monterey in this one. This is just a spray bottle that I love and works really well for me. So this is concentrated, so I put a little bit of this in here and added water. So like I said, either one of these will work. This is just a little closer up so you can see this is BT for caterpillars. For everything else, I like to use this Captain Jack's dead bug, especially for spider mites. I like to use this one. So this is the #1 product that I use for all my boxwoods. We do get spider mites. I've noticed more into my Nepeta that I have spider mites in my Nepeta more than anything, but spider mites can kill evergreens, so especially like junipers, make sure you spray them at least twice a year. I always try to spray in May and then now, like in August, at least twice a year, just as a preventative. I don't want to wait until I've got a problem before I start spraying. So junipers, my boxwoods, my evergreen arborvitaes, and my cryptomeras, definitely I always spray for spider mites. And this is the product that I like to use. So I already told you that I cut my petunias all the way back. In order to get new foliage and new blooms, then I need to fertilize them. So they are a proven winners plant, and this is a proven winners water soluble. So they both go really well together. So this is what it looks like when you open it up, and there's a scoop in there. You put you put 1 scoop per 1 gallon of water. I have a 2-gallon container behind me, so I put 2 scoops of this in there. I like to put this in before I put my water, because when I put my water in, it mixes it up really good for me, where I don't have to feel like I have to mix it up. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to get all my petunias fertilized, and then everything else I'm going to put this plant tone on there, and then my roses, rose tone, and then like I said, I'm going to spray for either use this or my BT for all those caterpillars that are eating my potato vines. So that is just 2, and I have several more. I think I've got a total of 8 in here, so I'm just gonna get all those petunias fertilized. So next we're gonna give everything a little dose of this flower tone. There's nothing special about it. You could either read the directions on the back. I'm just gonna put a couple handfuls on each plant. It does smell wonderful, so you may want to use gloves. We're gonna get a lot of rain tonight, and that's another thing that I'm gonna take advantage of by going ahead and putting this out right now, because it'll get watered in and it won't smell stinky for days. Now, butterfly bushes right here don't like a lot of fertilizer, so I'm just gonna stay clear from that. I think everything else likes fertilizer. If you're worried about using this kind of product, if it's something that has like a lot of bees on it, which this doesn't have any flowering thing on it, use it really late at night after the bees gotta go to sleep. Would be the most moral thing to do. Like I said, there's not anything on this one that's flowering. So like I said, that is the BT for caterpillars or tentworm. All right, so let's just take a quick look at everything after it's all pruned back and then everything is able to get sun. Isn't that gorgeous? New proven winners, double coated raspberry beret, butter pecan, and you can see where I just threw the fertilizer all on there, but like I said, it is going to rain tonight. And if it doesn't, then I'll come back and water, but 100% sure it's gonna rain. And then look at these gorgeous flowers on this sun hosta. This is my first time planting a sun hosta, and I'll do it again in a heartbeat. Serendipity allium. And then everything pruned back. Everything will flush back out. So I'm not gonna even show you this area until a month. So right now it is the end of August, and we'll come back at the end of October, and I'm gonna show you guys what this area looks like after we pruned everything back. Hardy hibiscus. You can see all of my butterfly bushes now. Coneflowers are doing gorgeous this time of year. They do not skip a beat with this heat. And these hydrangeas are doing really pretty up here. Look at that. Love that bloom. Look how gorgeous that is. So I'm getting some new blooms. Oops, it slid. And these are pH dependent. So I guess I'm gonna have blue or purple. So now that I have this west side garden, we're gonna go to the skinny. So now that I have this west side garden, all finished up, pruned back, and maintained, we're gonna go to the skinny side garden, and then I have some begonias over there that I'm gonna get pruned back. So let's go gardening over on the other side. So I don't have a whole lot to do over here, but just to go over everything with you, these are the new plants that I'm gonna plant in a project right there, that portulaca. And I got my hands on these gorgeous sedum, which these are called, let's see, they're called lemon jade. Yeah, these are called the Rock and Grow lemon jade. They get 16 to 18 inches tall, full sun. So I got 4 of those that I'm gonna plant. That back in there, and I got a couple little spikes also to plant in there, and with this portulaca right there. I love that color. I feel like it'll be a great color to go into fall. So then you can see that these blew my mind evolvulus are doing really, really pretty. I love this as a small hedge. This is perfect against a sidewalk right here. Love it. And I do not regret whatsoever putting a sidewalk in here on this skinny side garden. I feel like most people's landscape looks very similar to mine, especially if you're in a subdivision and it's like you have a hill and then it's flat, and then like on my other side I have the hill. So we battle that, and I don't know why they started, I guess because of drainage. So anyways, you can see where I fertilize these with the plant tone, and like I said, it's going to rain tonight, so that will get soaked right in, so I don't have to water that in. And then these are the double up begonias, and they haven't really got a lot of height on them, but these surefire begonias have, and you can see where I've pruned them back. Like right here, I pruned all of this row back right here.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today, and I will leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly.
Alright, so I am pretty much done with this side garden. There's always more that I could do. I do need to put some sluggo on that, so I'm going to do that today. Sluggo, it's not really happy there. I may have to move it. And coming down here, this is where I pruned all the surefire begonias back. And by cutting them back, I know a lot of people are going to be like, I could never do that. I just cut off those gorgeous blooms. I totally understand and get it, but they're going to branch out twice as much and be just as pretty and not as tall. So I can see my boxwoods back here, and I need to get these pruned back when it cools down a little bit. But I just absolutely love this Blue My Mind evolvulus. I think it's gorgeous, and like I said, I wouldn't give anything for my sidewalk that I've already had put in. The air conditioner's on, and I apologize, but let's come down here, and then you could see the sedum, and I was showing you a picture of the name of the sedum, and that is called autumn charm sedum. And I cheat sometimes, and I have really cute plant tags there. And then you can see where I pruned back all my echinacea. Had one here, one back there, and one here in the front. So they just flowered out early this year. Like right now, I think if I didn't plant those, well, actually I planted those last fall. So I don't know, they for me, they bloomed early. You can see all this new growth on this sedum here too. I'm gonna move this sedum next year because it's not been super happy here for whatever reason. It looks happy now. And I had one over here that died. So I don't know if it's dead or if it'll come back fresh next year. I have a little bit of it left there. So I hope you thought this video was inspirational and helpful. In the next video, we are going to tackle this front yard here. This Comfrena has kind of overtaken everything. It is a great annual if you want to put it into towards the back of a garden and not the front of the garden like I did. That was a mistake that I made. It was gorgeous at the beginning of the season, but now it's kind of like overtaken all these petunias, and you can't even see my petunias underneath, as you can see. But we're going to remove all of these and put some new annuals in. We're going to put some white vincas, which I think is going to be gorgeous, and then you'll be able to see all my boxwoods in the back, which is what I like, the more formal look of my front garden. So yes, stay tuned for that video, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe.